Council. Will the clerk please call the roll? Okay.
Mayor Stewart.
Here.
Councilmember Kovar.
Here.
Councilmember Dabala.
Present.
Councilmember Kostick.
Here.
Councilmember Siemens.
Present.
Councilmember Smith. Councilmember Searcy.
Here.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to make one small change to our agenda this evening and move council comments after we do adoption of the minutes. So it'll be the last thing on this council's agenda. But welcome to the final session of the 20, whatever it was, 2020 to 2022 City Council. I'm glad to see the auditorium filled this evening. So we just have a little business as this final council tonight. And the first thing we'll begin with is if we have any public comments here in the auditorium, you can come to the podium, state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Susan Rosenblum, and I've been a resident of Ward 3 since 1995 in the Pinecrest neighborhood. I and my neighbors, Molly Bowen and Eli Weikel, who could not be here tonight, wish to pay tribute and say thank you to Council Member Casey Kostick, who has represented Ward 3 since 2017. We thank Casey for being an example of how leadership does not necessarily mean the loudest voice in the room. Casey listens, does research, and pushes the issues forward until it is resolved. Casey has always shown willingness to listen and respond to residents' needs, big or small. One moment that stands out is in the wake of the tragic shooting last year at the Overlook condominiums. Casey was attentive to probing what happened, what went wrong, and responding to problematic and non-transparent responses by some entities within the city. I first recall meeting Casey when she invited Ward 3 residents to Takoma Beverage to talk about the city's upcoming budget. She wanted to hear from Ward 3 residents about our concerns. I recently had joined the city's Grants Review Committee and spoke with her about the importance of the Quality of Life Community Grants. She often joined me in doing site visits, and she always was just not an observer, but an active participant, engaging with the staff and the participants. We thank Casey for her attention to constituent services, a must for any elected official. For years, residents on my block of 4th Avenue faced treacherous streets in the winter because water accumulated in the street and froze over. Due to Casey's diligent work and follow-up with the Department of Public Works, the street no longer poses a hazard. Casey also worked hard to get a stop sign installed at Lincoln and Carroll. She helped to navigate the multiple government jurisdictions that were involved and stayed the course until the sign was physically in the ground. Finally, we commend Casey for advocating implementation of recommendations from the city's Public Safety Task Force, ensuring that their work is not simply a report to put on a shelf, but a real opportunity to improve our city. In her poem, To Be of Use, by poet Marge Piercy, she writes, "I love people who move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again." Thank you, Casey, for your service to Ward 3 and moving things forward in Takoma Park.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Robert Lanza. I've lived in Ward 1 since 1998. I'd like to express my appreciation, and I'm sure the appreciation of others in Ward 1, to Peter Kovar's exemplary service as a council member over the past years. We are sad to see him go, glad to see the new person coming in. I want to particularly thank Peter for his office hours. I gained a lot from having one-on-one conversations with you at Girl and Vine and at Takoma Beverage. I greatly appreciated you taking the time to talk individually with constituents about issues and your decision-making. Also, I want to thank you for your blog, which was also very helpful in terms of explaining what's going on, why you make the decisions you did, and help us to understand what the situation is, why you chose to do your decision-making. So again, thank you for your service, and I'm sure I speak for others in Ward 1, and congratulations on your upcoming retirement. Thank you.
Can I talk now? Okay. I'm Troy Jacobs, Ward 5, and I want to thank outgoing Mayor Kate Stewart, council members Casey Kostick and Peter Kovar, and my own ward, Jared Smith, wherever he may be, for their service and time on the council. And please don't misconstrue that residents' absence from the city council meetings has meant that we are not interested. We are intensely interested in what has been happening. We greatly appreciate your dedication. We appreciate the council videos, your communications to residents, which we share among ourselves, and how you all have worked together as a council. If anything, our usual absence from meetings means that we have been confident in you making the best Takoma for all of us. Confident in you to work with our city staff, who are talented and competent in their own right. I also want to point out that we have all lost family, friends, and colleagues during the COVID pandemic. Adding to the regular challenges of your council service, you have guided the city through these very difficult times. To your credit, with the help of the city staff and the Board of Elections, we had an election in 2020 where 53% of the voters participated, and the recent election, I believe, is 47% participation. We saw increased voter participation, new voters, immigrant voters, youth voters, in contrast to a historical trend of voter participation in the range of 10 to 20%. I am firmly convinced that the system we have of ranked choice voting greatly enhanced the discussion of issues, and this was an important contribution whether you won or lost in the recent election. Going forward, hopefully we can continue to engage these new voices, but also to expand the voices. Learning from the pandemic and from our elections, we need to continue to explore ways to engage these other voices. Fortunately, we live in a jurisdiction where we respect the outcome of votes, where we strive to bring voice to government and build a more representative, progressive Takoma Park. I thank you very much and look forward to working with the new city council. We're very excited about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Troy.
Hi, all. I'm Kelly Gibson. I'm a resident of Ward 2, but I'm here mostly as a grateful resident of Takoma Park at large. I'm grateful for our community, for how thoughtful we are to our neighbors, and to the future of this place. And I'm grateful for Kate and her impressive leadership. When I met her, I told her one day I'd help her run for governor. And that's when I just first met her, when she first ran for mayor. She's immediately impressive. But that's just the thing about her, that special thing she has. It's just exactly who she is. And I truly believe that her style of leadership is what makes successful government bodies. In my professional career, I spent most of my time working with and advocating for women in politics, because women lead different. We create space for differing opinions. We stay at the table. We don't back down. We don't make people feel bad for their different opinions, and we never shut them down. And Kate is the true illustration of that leadership, and I believe, Talisha, you will be as well. I'm very proud of that. Her tenure was not a walk in the park. There were real challenges, difficult conversations, tough votes, lots of criticism, occasionally very pointy fingers. But a new chapter has been written in our town's history, the Kate Stewart chapter, and it has made us so much more rich. She sees the beauty, she understands the importance of inclusion and hard work, and she's left our beloved home better than she found it. I'm thrilled she'll be bringing our Tacoma spirit to the County Council, and I feel certain I'll have many opportunities to vote for you in the future. For everything you've given Takoma Park, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Hello there. My name is Carter Doherty. I am in Ward 1. Thanks to all of our outgoing members of the council, especially my own ward rep, Peter Kovar. I did want to direct these remarks in particular to Mayor Stewart, because since the last 7 years since you first ran for mayor have really flown by, and I attribute part of that to my work and my friendship with you. Much of it is also having children, as everyone who has children in this room knows. But I want to assure you, Kate, that the reasons for that stretch far beyond those dreaded words, Tacoma Junction. The Tacoma Voice, if memory serves, opined shortly after you were elected to the council that Kate Stewart is, quote, alarmingly efficient, and surmised that you have access to a technology far superior to our own. At the time, I had no idea how true that was, but I do now. To work with you at times during the campaigns and on various issues, and to occasionally shadow you during door knocking and meet and greets, was to bear witness to a deft mixture of public policy smarts and people skills that I quickly came to admire. It wasn't your technology, it was your temperament. Now, I can immerse myself in the facts and figures of public policy as much as anybody. It's what I do for a living right now. But those people skills were really always a sight to behold. You apparently have a bottomless reserve of patience, cheer, and extroversion that you show in dealing with everyone from a person you run into on the sidewalk to, say, the elected officials of Greater Washington. For you, that's all in a day's work. For me, at least, even a slice of what you pull off would make me want to shut myself in a closet for a little bit of alone time. I just couldn't do it. More than once, I felt I had gleaned from my own interactions with people some fact or insight that I thought was enlightening and that might help you arrive at a decision or make an argument or persuade someone. And more than once, you responded to me, yeah, I've been telling them that for about a year now. On a less edifying note, I was also witness to some of the sexism that creeps into even progressive corners of American politics. Sometimes it takes being up close to see that, but it is there, and I never saw you display anything but great strength and equanimity in dealing with it, at least in public. So you definitely blew your stack a few times in private, but frankly, the odd thing is that not that a Takoma Park mayor might occasionally erupt in frustration, it's that it doesn't happen more often. But you have left some deep footprints here in Takoma Park, and I think the election results are partly a reflection of that, laying aside your many public policy accomplishments. Happily, you endorsed Talisha Searcy, our mayor-elect, for at least a few more minutes here. Now, Talisha is nobody's puppet, but I raise this point because another candidate, Seth Grimes, also announced his candidacy by saying a priority is, quote, expanding on Kate Stewart's legacy. So if I add the votes up for Talisha
Mr.
and Seth,
Doherty, I hate to
you
do
get
this.
81% of the vote, acknowledging some level of
Mr. Doherty,
appreciation.
you are over time.
So, with that, we anticipate great things from you in Rockville. Thank you for your time in Takoma Park, Kate.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Barclay. I'm here on behalf of the Old Tacoma Business Association and as a Ward 3 resident, and I want to thank all of our outgoing council members, but specifically Mayor Stewart, on behalf of the businesses in Takoma Park, I'm here to thank you for the work you've done to support small business in Takoma Park. From eliminating the inventory tax, to introducing necessary crosswalks, to closing Laurel Avenue for the streetery, to helping escalate permitting issues through the county that come up during construction of new businesses, to coming out every year in your pajamas and shopping. We appreciate all that you've done for the businesses in Takoma Park. And as a resident, I want to thank you as well. Watching you work, it's hard to believe that mayor job is only part-time. I want to thank you for your tireless efforts and your leadership and your dedication to Takoma Park. You will be missed, and I look forward to working with you at the county. Thanks.
Okay, seeing no one else in the auditorium, is there anyone on Zoom? No one on Zoom tonight. All right, and I'm just gonna, okay, sorry. Next, after public comments, we're gonna do adopt minutes. We had a lot of minutes to adopt. So we had minutes from May through October, and I'm gonna ask if someone would like to move adoption of those minutes. Councilwoman Costick moves, do I have a second? Come on, Councilwoman Searcy, second. Any conversation, changes, questions? Councilman Costa.
I sent a few to the city clerk, but
Yeah.
nothing major.
Yeah, I had sent a few minor things as well. All right, all those in favor of adoption of the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we adopted the minutes. And I did not see anyone from the Youth Council here, so hopefully maybe the first meeting that Mayor-elect Searcy has, the Youth Council will be there. Before I turn to council comments, just want to see if the city manager had anything for this evening for this council. All right, then we will now turn to, before we adjourn, council comments. Are there any council comments this evening? Councilwoman DeBala, you're first.
Thank you. So, all that, what people said about the departing council members and mayor, I won't repeat it, but I deeply have enjoyed and learned from all of you in these past few years, and I'm going to miss you. On a more basic note, I wanted to just sneak in that there's going to be a four-way stop sign at Elm and Ethan Allen. This is thank you, Mayor Spooner. Thank you to Delegate Charcuti and to all the residents who were persistent with SHA. Mid-December is the latest estimate. And I think I'll hold till next week on the rest of this. Thank you to the residents of Ward 2 who provided the opportunity for me to serve again.
Thank you. Councilman Searcy, or sorry, Costick and then Searcy.
Sorry, you're going to have to wait a little bit.
No worries.
I've got a few things to say. All right, thank you. And I'm definitely going to go over the 3 minutes. I have a couple outgoing things I want to share. First of all, it has been an incredible honor to serve as the Ward 3 representative for the past 5 years. Just really could not have ever imagined an opportunity like this. I don't feel like I felt that emotional until I came into the meeting tonight, and it is definitely emotional to see everyone here. I'm super excited to see the new council members coming in, and excited to have people in the auditorium, which doesn't always happen. My family, who I thought was going to watch from home, walked in a few minutes ago. So my husband, Damien, my 2 kids, Alex and Peter, are in the back. So I have a long list of people I want to thank and a couple of comments to leave you with. First of all, of course, want to thank my family, going back to my parents who really instilled in me a sense of civic engagement and duty, and I think set the groundwork for me wanting to serve in a position like this. My mother-in-law, who really has made it possible for me to be in this position, many times taking over, helping watch the kids, and just encouraging me very much in this role. My husband, Damien, who I pointed out before, really, as many members of this council and former members of the council know, it is not often possible without a supportive family. Damien has really been there for me throughout this process, never complained, has put up with a lot, knows much more about the city than he probably ever wanted to. So a huge thank you, Damien. And thank you to Alex and Peter, who have shared a lot of their insights with me and encouraged me in the position, and have put up with me stopping at almost every single event we have gone to since they were born to talk city business with someone. So they will be happy to see that go. Kind of turning to another group, I want to thank the city staff, the people who are in this room, city TV, people who are not in this room. The city staff, for those who might not know, really are the core of the city, and they keep the city running and are so responsive to residents, and just really, really appreciate all that you do on a regular basis to make it possible for us to have such an amazing community. Turning to my colleagues, it has been such a pleasure to work with all of you. This council has been amazing. I frequently, through my work with other bodies at the national level, at the regional level, we hear from other council members and elected officials about the challenges they have in their councils, and to be able to compare that to the group of people I've been able to work with over the past 5 years is just night and day, because this has been such a collaborative council, even when we've disagreed. People are here because they want to make things better, and they will work their hardest and have worked their hardest to make things happen. If they disagreed with something, to work together to find a solution. So just really, really grateful to each of you. I admire all of you. Really excited for you to be taking over as mayor. I think that will be fantastic. Excited for you, Councilmember Davala, and Councilmember Siemens, to be continuing. And excited for you, Councilmember Kovar, to be joining me in retirement, and Councilmember Smith as well. And Mayor Stewart, I'm incredibly excited for you to be taking over as our county representative. And I want to thank you for your leadership and guidance over the past 5 years. And I also, just on a personal level, I think people may not know this, Mayor Stewart, many years ago, actually several years before I ever ran for council, took time to reach out to young women in the community and ask them to think about running for office. Not because she knew them well, she didn't know me at all, really, outside of the fact that I served on a committee, and encouraged me to think about running for office. And I know she did the same with many other young women. And really, it was something that nudged me into later on, several years later, thinking, wow, I could maybe do this. So thank you. I appreciate that. Before I thank the wonderful people of Ward 3, I want to just take a couple of moments to suggest a couple of things I want to and hope for from the new council. First of all, huge congratulations to those of you who are starting on the council. I hope that you will continue the tradition I was just talking about in terms of being collaborative with each other and respectful to each other, because it really does make a difference. It makes a difference for the community, and it makes a difference in how you adopt policies when you're listening to each other and working together. On a more nuanced and specific level, I really hope you move forward on the traffic calming and new sidewalk request policies. That was something I wanted to do before I was on the council and have not yet achieved, so I would love to see that go into effect. I served on the Transportation Planning Board for the past 5 years, and the work there mattered to me a lot. It is something that is really important for the city to continue to push forward in terms of climate action, so I hope that's something that the council will prioritize. And you all don't want to listen to me talk forever, so I'm going to stop in a minute here, but I want to say a huge thank you to Susan and Molly and Eli. That was hugely unexpected and almost brought me to tears, so thank you so much for the beautiful comments. And I am just so grateful to everyone in Ward 3 for the opportunity to serve in this role. It has been a real honor to represent you and to get to know you and to be a small part of your lives over the past 5 years. So please keep in touch with me. I'm still your neighbor, and I look forward to kind of seeing you on the other side in a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor-elect Searcy?
Well, that's hard to follow. But I just want to take this time to thank my colleagues. As Councilmember Kostick mentioned, this has been such a collaborative group of people. where we may not all agree, but everyone is so solution-oriented that it just really helped to further so many challenging issues and advance them in a way that was to the benefit of our entire community. So I'm so grateful. I will miss having my seatmate. And, you know, just relying so much on you as it relates to transportation issues, and really working collaboratively to really try to address so many things like the Purple Line and just so many different issues that have impacted our community as it relates to traffic. Also, working with Councilmember Kovar has been such a pleasure. I've learned so much from you, just having an opportunity to chat you up about different issues and development projects and the like. So I will definitely miss our chats and ability to collaborate with you. And Mayor Stewart, I still call you still my mayor. You know, Councilmember Costick reminded me that I too was one of those women. As a neighborhood association president, you reached out. He's like, hey, have you ever thought about running for council? I was like, no. And here I am today, mayor-elect. So I am so grateful for your mentorship and your tutelage and just really helping me along the way, not only before I got on council, but while on council. And I will truly miss you as mayor, but I definitely look forward to working with you in your new role as county council member of District 4. So thank you all so much. And I look forward to continuing to work with council members Dabala and Siemens. So.
Great. Councilmember Siemens?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, it's been a real pleasure to work with my colleagues over the last 2 years and beyond in some cases. And I have to say, though, after listening to other council members speak tonight, I'm surprised to hear that you all didn't agree with me all the time. Anyways, I, again, wish you all well in your future endeavors, and let you know that for me it's with a degree of sadness, because I think this has been one of the best councils that I have sat on, with intelligent, really dedicated council members, and I appreciate that. And I just say that I look forward to your having a great future, but I'm going to miss you because you're like part of the family leaving, you know, and it's very hard. Good luck.
Councilmember Kovar.
Thank you, and thanks for all the nice comments, and thanks to the people who spoke earlier, and in particular to Robert as the Ward 1 representative. I appreciate that, and I really do want to thank the voters and residents of Ward 1 for giving me the opportunity to begin with. You know, I've been involved in politics before, for on and off for many, many years, but never in an elected position. And the first time you do that, and the first time you knock on someone's door, or the first time you put out a statement, it's not for someone else, but it's for yourself. That's a kind of an unnerving experience at first, and I think everybody really was so welcoming and willing to give me the honor and the privilege of representing them, that was number one, very touching. But also, just over the years, I felt like we developed this relationship, me with the residents, a lot of it online, not that kind of online relationship, but we had a relationship that was carried on over 7 years, and it was really a wonderful thing for me to get a chance to interact with people in so many different ways. And so I really appreciate the voters and the residents doing that. I do, as my colleagues did, want to express my appreciation to the staff. We have some staff here, and I think a few more sitting in the audience, but they were really good about helping me, but also talking me out of bad ideas. And you know, like Terry said, we don't always agree with each other. We also didn't always have only great ideas, and so I think it was really helpful to have that. Working with my council colleagues, I think we had the same group for 5 years, and it was really unbelievable to have relationships with all of them. And I could say so many things about each of them. I'll just say that here's our mayor, who actually cut off after 3 minutes the person who was praising her. So that's an extra ethical thing in her part. And other elected officials who we worked with, I appreciate them. I want to thank the people like Laura Barkley and those who represent the businesses and the nonprofits. And I do want to thank my family. My wife Paul is somewhere in the audience, and my son Paul is there, and having her support and also Paula's support, and she put together my website and did all these other things. It was just so meaningful, and it's a lot to put up with, as everybody up here knows. And she was a great source of support. And Paul and his partner Kira and my daughter Sarah and her husband John, often remotely, but great moral support, and I really appreciate that. I'm not going to do a big list of things that I worked on, but I am going to send out one more blog later in the week, and so all the people said how much they love my blog, and a lot of them loved it without actually reading it, but this will be the last chance that they'll have to read it, and I'll do that. And I just want to say also, several of my colleagues alluded to it, and there's this question of public engagement and inclusion, and I appreciate Casey mentioned a few things that she hoped that the next council would work on, and I think we all try really hard on improved public engagement and trying to be as inclusive as you can, but there's always more to do there. And so I know that for Talisha that will be a big part of it, but I hope we're able to do it. And the other thing, and there's a really interesting article just in the Post today about Nancy Pelosi and this sort of push and pull between ideology and pragmatism. And what do? Do you just try to get the perfect thing every time, or do you try to get a little bit and then continue the next time? And I think especially at our level, we don't need to inject intense ideology into things we're just trying to do for the community with people that we're going to see, that weekend at the farmers market. So I think a level of civility and not wanting to get 100% of everything every time would really help. And I think at times we've tried to do that, but I think we could do better with it. So I appreciate all the support that there has been, the opportunity to work with this incredible council, great staff, unbelievable neighborhood, great community, and thanks everybody.
Great. All right. Are you doing something? Okay.
Yeah, so I obviously missed the part about preparing a speech.
Okay.
But on behalf of I was also told, under no circumstances, no clocks.
No clocks.
And specifically, no presents for you.
Right.
So don't feel badly
I'm not.
if you don't get one of these.
don't.
So on behalf of the remaining city council and the city staff and management, I would like to present a couple of gifts for the outgoing council members. This is for Casey, for all of your work in all parts of the city. This is for Councilmember Kovar.
Thank you.
For all of your,
Should we open them now? Or?
that's up to you. I think maybe Kate would like to get out of here.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
okay.
You got. We'll win it.
Oh, it's a beautiful photo of Sligo Creek, I think, maybe? Right.
Yes.
It's an amazing picture
nice.
of Sligo Creek. Thank you very much.
And there is one more
Scary.
gift.
And as a special,
Which Councilmember Siemens will present as Mayor Pro Tem.
and as a special gift tonight for our outgoing mayor, we would like to retire the gavel and give it to you for
Thank
your
you very
new
much.
position.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, I'll just say a few closing words. First, thank you so much to everyone, to the whole community. I want to start first with our city staff. You all are just remarkable people. Beyond your expertise and skills and knowledge, the deep caring you have for our community is just astounding to me. And I just want to thank from the bottom of my heart each and every single one of you for all of the work and the partnership over the last few years. It's been wonderful. And to my friends and community members who came out tonight, particularly Kelly, Carter, Troy, and Laura. Thank you for your words this evening. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be so emotional, but I so appreciate all of your support over the years. To my family, tonight, my husband and mother-in-law are here. Gracie is at home, and my kids are in college. But as has been said tonight, you can't do this job without the support of your family. You know, I started this when my kids were in middle school, and now one's pretty much done with college and the other's in college. And this has always been a family affair. And in particular, I want to thank my husband for always being there, even at that 3 and 4 a.m. When I'm like, oh, now I think I can figure this out, and knowing it was probably a terrible idea at 4 a.m. And to my mother-in-law, who has always been a huge source of strength in my life and inspiration, and for making sure my family is fed and that I'm taking care of myself. And, you know, to my colleagues, you all have been so incredibly wonderful. Peter, I know of few people who are so unwavering in how they fight for their constituents and their friends. And you have been a model of that over the years, and thank you. Cindy, your commitment to climate change and always asking the questions that need to be asked, and your index cards are something I'm going to very much miss. Casey, as has been said tonight, your patience, smarts, and deep kindness are just so unique in a person, and I'm truly going to miss working with you so closely. Councilmember Siemens, you have been a rock for me over the years, and your persistent search for justice and fairness in our community is something that we have all benefited from, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Talisha, our mayor-elect, your advice, collaboration, and thoughtfulness has been something I have so much leaned on over the years, and those late-night calls have been so important to me. And I'm just going to end by quoting one of my favorite writers, Jacqueline Woodson, who wrote in one of her books that the revolution is like a merry-go-round. History is always being made somewhere, and maybe for a short time we're a part of that history. And then the ride stops and our turn is over. So Mayor-elect Searcy, it's your turn to get on this merry-go-round. And with that, I adjourn this city council.
So, excuse me, so right now we have the clerk of the circuit court, Ms. Karen A. Bushell, who's going to swear in Mayor Searcy, and then Mayor Searcy will swear in each member of the city council.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And that I will be faithful.
And that I will be faithful.
And bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland.
And bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland.
And support the Constitution.
And support the Constitution.
And laws thereof.
And laws thereof.
And that I will.
And that I will.
To the best of my skill and judgment.
To the best of my skill and judgment.
Diligently and faithfully.
Diligently and faithfully.
Without partiality or prejudice.
Without partiality or prejudice.
Execute the office of.
Execute the office of.
Mayor of Takoma Park.
Mayor of Takoma Park.
According to the Constitution and laws of this state.
According to the Constitution and laws of this state. I'm a lefty though, so I don't know. Just I'll go around this way? Yeah. Right, like I normally do? Yeah.
Love it.
Got it. Excellent. All right.
Shayna Vulture.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Shayna Fulcher,
Do swear
do swear
to affirm,
to affirm,
as the case may be,
as the case may be,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Council Member Ward 1
execute the office of Councilmember Ward 1
according to the Constitution and laws
according to the Constitution and laws
of this state and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
of this state and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
Great. And we get them signed. Let's see. Okay, I got it. There's like a little.
Oh, yeah, I just got this one too. Oh, thank you so much.
Excellent. Cindy DeBala. Excellent. And if you can raise your right hand. Awesome. And repeat after me. I state your name.
Cindy DeBala.
Do swear
I do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful
be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of
to
Maryland
the state of Maryland
and support
and support
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Councilmember Ward 2
execute the office of Councilmember Ward 2
according to the Constitution and laws
according to the Constitution and laws
of this state
of this state
and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. Andy. Raise your right hand and just repeat after me. I
I,
state your name.
Randy Gibson,
Do swear
do swear,
or affirm, as the case may be,
or affirm as the case may be,
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States,
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful and bear true allegiance
be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and that I will
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Council Member Ward 3
execute the office of Council Member Ward 3,
according to the Constitution and laws
according to the Constitution and laws
of this state
of this state
and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Siemens. All right. Right hand up. Excellent. Repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Jerry Siemens,
do swear
do swear,
or affirm, as the case may be,
or affirm as the case may be,
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and
to
judgment,
the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Councilmember Ward 4
execute the office of Councilmember Ward 4
according to the Constitution and laws
according to the Constitution and laws
of this state and the laws of the city of Takoma Park. All right. And Kara, thank you so much. Wonderful. Okay, so you raise your right hand and just repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Carol Honzak,
do swear
do swear
or affirm, as the case may be,
or affirm as the case may be
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful
be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and to bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Councilmember Ward 5
execute the office of Council Member Ward 5
according to the Constitution and laws
according to the Constitution and laws
of this state
of this state
and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
Congratulations. So, thank you.
Mayor Searcy, so we have Jason Small on Zoom.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
All right. So can you hear me? Okay. Are you ready to repeat after me, Jason?
Let's make sure
Let's make sure.
he's there.
Yeah. Hello?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Do you need to see me? Bernard Small.
Do swear
Do swear,
or affirm as the case may be
or affirm, as the case may be,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful
be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Council Member Ward 6
execute the office of Council Member Ward 6
according to the Constitution and laws
according to the Constitution and laws
of this state
of this state
and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
and the laws of the city of Takoma Park.
Wonderful. Congratulations. So now I'm looking for guidance.
Have a seat.
Okay, perfect. All right, so if we could get all of the council members to come up and claim your new seats. And Jason, he signed his already. Thank you. And this is awesome.
It's like magic.
We have to switch chairs.
That would be good. Madam Mayor.
All right. Well, I guess I can't sneeze if I'm sitting next to you.
Shall we call the roll? We're ready. So I'd like to call this session of the Takoma Park City Council to order. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Mayor Searcy,
Here.
Councilmember Fulcher. Present. Councilmember DeBala.
Present.
Councilmember Gibson.
Here?
Councilmember Siemens.
Present?
Councilmember Hanzak.
Present.
Councilmember Small.
Here.
Great. All right, back to me. So, guess I'm trying to make sure I know what we're doing. For the, should I go through the, sorry.
Yes, I have the proclamations for you.
Thank you.
I don't know why I still have them.
So we have two proclamations today.
Maybe we could do the proclamations after.
Sure. No problem.
I don't know. I thought
Okay, so we're going to go on to public comments. All right. Well, while we are waiting on the proclamations, let's go ahead and get started with public comments. Do we have any public comments today?
Arthur David.
I think Arthur's coming up. Okay, perfect.
Wilson, Herbie Hancock Avenue. First, congratulations on winning your elections. Second, condolences on winning your elections because you are going to get to hit the ground running. Absent direction from you, in a few months, the city manager will dutifully come to you with a maintenance of effort budget. On the expense side, ongoing high inflation will mean increases in supply, equipment, capital, and staff costs. The current bear market has reduced the value of the city's pension fund from about $24.7 million to about $21.3 million. You can expect a substantial increase in the city's recommended addition to the fund. Meanwhile, on the revenue side, your options have been limited by steps taken to reduce this year's deficit. All the federal pandemic aid has been spoken for. All the library bond funds have been spoken for. Much of the cable franchise fee has been spoken for. And unassigned reserves fell from about $7.1 million to about $4.6 million, below the level called for by council policy. What all this means is that a maintenance of effort budget will require a massive property tax increase. There are three things I hope you'll do. First and easiest, let the city manager know you want a reduction of effort budget. Second, and harder, let the city manager know how much of a reduction you want. While it works to let the city manager know how much of a property tax increase you're willing to impose, the election campaign has shown differences among you as to what increase is acceptable. Deliberation is required. Third and hardest, give the city manager guidance on how to achieve the reduction. I suggest focusing on city programs that can revert to county responsibility. While the quantity and quality of services we receive from the county may well be less than what the city can provide, we can no longer afford what we're accustomed to. Now, I do have a $2.5 million idea for handling budget woes, but since I only have 3 minutes, that idea will have to wait. I don't believe that you can wait. I hope the council will forego its usual month-long December recess and get started on the time-consuming crafting of a budget we can live with. Thank you.
Okay. So, are there any more comments? Okay. Okay, let's move to the resolutions, yes. Right. Well, actually, we have council comments. Yep. All right, so we're going to move on to council comments. If any of the council members would like to provide any comments, all you have to do is just select the button on your microphone, and then that way you will be queued to speak. All right, Councilmember DeBala?
I think Councilmember Gibson was first.
I'm sorry?
Never mind. I just want to welcome my new colleagues and thank you for being willing to serve. Buckle up. It's going to be a ride. I'm really grateful for your presence, and also to our new mayor. Congratulations. That's it for me. Thank you.
Councilmember Gibson?
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I want to first give some thanks to some folks that deserve it. First of all, my wife, Julia Jarvis, and my daughter, Jean Jarvis Gibson, both who were extremely instrumental in my getting to this place. Also want to thank the other candidates that ran against me in Ward 3, Mimi Diaz and Alex Hayden. We ran a respectful, civil, and substantive campaign, and I'm grateful for their participation, and I look forward to their continued participation and contribution to the city of Takoma Park and Ward 3. I want to thank Casey Kostick for her role in the council with Ward 3 and her setting the bar so high, particularly on constituency support and education. I want to thank Jesse Carpenter and the Board of Education for all the hard work that they did. I was able to visit during some of the counting, and it was tedious work, and I really appreciate their work, especially with the ranked choice, made it a little bit more interesting. I want to thank Ward 3 voters who bring me here. We have a diverse, geographically, socioeconomically, ward that is a challenge and an opportunity. I'm really excited about the chance to follow up on my visits all the way from Eastern Avenue to Sligo Creek, Victory Towers, and every place, and Pinecrest and Circle Woods and every place in between. We have a lot to offer. It's a beautiful area, and I look forward to your support, guidance, and hope to listen, to learn, and as case it requires, I will lead. I want to I appreciate the comments about the budget that was raised earlier, and I understand it is a huge task and a task that we will do together, and I appreciate that this council will, under Felicia's leadership, we will handle that. We will do the best that we can, and we will make some tough decisions. I hope to make this town, this city, stronger and more resilient, both as a community, as an ecosystem, as a habitat where we live. And look forward to these next 2 years at your service. Thank you very much.
Just want to confirm, our monitors are not on. I think we can keep going with the comments, but we're not able to see any timelines or anything. Councilmember Siemens?
Thank you, Mayor. That's Mayor Talisha Searcy. Yes, it's great to still be here on the council, and I certainly welcome my new colleagues on the council and look forward to working with you all. And since I have some past experience, I'm available for any questions or assistance that I can provide to you. I'd like to say thank you to my wife, who without her, I wouldn't have gotten involved in community affairs back in 1997. I don't think she knew what she was starting. But I'd also like to thank all the Ward 4 members that are here tonight. All those applause you hear? Okay. And also all the Ward 4 members who are home watching on television, the ones who went out and voted, appreciate that. And all of you, whether you voted or not, I'm here to represent you in the city business. Just want to also take a minute and thank the Board of Elections and the city clerk and the rest of the city staff members who worked on the election this year. It was a fantastic job. We had great turnout, and I know it was more difficult than some of the past elections, just because of the increase in volume that we had this year. And with that, I look forward to working with you all and hearing from the community on what we should be considering. Thank you.
Good evening. Yeah, great. Councilmember Hazak. Thank you. I am really thrilled to be here, and I wouldn't be here without the help of many, many neighbors and family. So I just want to say a huge thank you to every member of my family. I will not name all of you. You know who you are. You're here tonight, and I thank you for that. If I keep this short, my children will be grateful. One of them only wants to eat cake. And I really want to thank all of the members of Ward 5 who are here tonight. It is we don't always have as many of us physically present, but as one of my constituents said this evening, that doesn't mean that we don't really care about what the council is doing. And I really hope that during my time on the council, I can represent all of those interests across our ward. And I also want to take a moment to say a big thank you to Jarrett Smith, who gave many years of his life to serving the city in this role, and who then also ran a campaign for mayor. We need many people running for mayor to have a strong and robust city, and I'm proud of him for doing that, coming from our ward, and helping to represent many issues that I think we all need to explore. And I also want to say thank you to Yared and AJ, who were my fellow running mates. I learned a lot from both of you. I hope that you too will stay extremely engaged in our ward. We need your energy moving forward. And I hope that if there is no other good value of the big and strong campaigns that we all ran, that we will get more people in Ward 5 to come out and register to vote and vote in our future elections. I think we have the lowest voter turnout and the lowest number of registered voters in our ward, so we can make a lot of progress on that front. And I am looking forward to working with all of the council members, learning and leaning on those who have been here before us, and learning from the city staff as well. I really look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Any other council comments?
I don't know if you know, but I hated that.
I am so sorry, Councilmember Smalls, we cannot see you. So,
Let Jason go next.
yes, if you would like to provide comments, feel free to do so.
Take the public opportunity to thank anybody from Ward 6 that came tonight on my behalf. I believe that Gretchen, one of my campaign co-managers, is there. I'd like to thank her and Mr. Douglas O'Brien and my wife, Jamana Musa, for their wise counsel and efforts on my behalf. It's really strange to think that anyone would make efforts on my behalf with regard to municipal government. And that's mostly because I used to do these kinds of meetings after like a 16-hour day, and it would be a long day. It's going to be a pleasure to be working with the people who are on this council. I have never heard a disparaging word about any of the people that are currently sitting at Constituted, and I hope that it is as much fun as I think it's going to be to do this, but not be yelled at the same time. I would like to thank Mike Moore and Raju Charles and Ambrose Agosi for a spirited campaign. I'd like to thank Felicia Searcy for being a really good Ward 6 representative and giving me an opportunity to follow in well-traveled footsteps. And other than that, I guess I would say thank you. And in case anybody's wondering, I'm I'm probably not voting for anything that's not the Costco yogurt. So, that's all. Bye.
Thank you, Councilmember Smalls. Any other comments? Wonderful. Councilmember Coulter.
I want to thank my family and friends and members of the community that supported me through my run for councilwoman. I want to especially thank my running mates, Mark and Elizabeth. I had really great conversations with them, and I look forward to working with them in the future. I also want to thank all of Ward 1, those that came out and voted for me, and also many of them that said that when looking at my platform, they couldn't vote for me, but that they did feel really heard through conversations, and that they did know that they'd be able to work with me in the future, even if I wasn't their first or second choice. I want to thank the previous council, especially Kate and Peter. Even when your races weren't contested all the time, I did still come out and vote for you every single time as a vote of support for what you were doing. And I want to thank the new council and say that I'm really excited to work with you, and I am open-minded and ready for you to convince me that my solution isn't the best solution and that you have a different way.
Wonderful. Well, first I want to thank the residents of Takoma Park. You don't know how much running for this office, I deliberated a lot before putting my foot into the fire, I should say. And it was so many people in the community that rallied around me that just really helped me to know that this is the direction I needed to go in. So many residents across the city who opened their homes, meet and greets, or who disagreed, like Shayna, but took the time to actually talk through the issues with me, was just so really instrumental to me and very helpful. And I look forward to serving our entire city. I also want to thank my family, my mom. So many people saw my mom. My mom, my sister, my family, who's my brothers here, folks who were just really in the trenches and just walked the city with me, knocking on doors and putting up signs, and it really became a labor of love, and I'm so grateful to all of you. I'm also very appreciative of my campaign team. I could not be here if it were not for Haley and Kelly and Hannah. And so many folks who hosted meet and greets, Miss Doris, like so many people who just really volunteered their time and their talents to support me in this endeavor. I look forward, and kind of looking to the future, I look forward to working with each and every one of you here on the podium and on Zoom. Because I believe very strongly that we are all called together for a reason, and it's to lead this great city into the next phase of its existence. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to not only get to know you while campaigning, but to get to know you each further as we work together on council. I want to just say how grateful I am to city staff. You all, not only during the election, but beyond, I've had an opportunity to work with the wonderful staff that we have. I look forward to working with our city manager, Jamal Fox. I've had an opportunity over the last 5 years to work with you all, and I know how hard you work. And I know how important it is for this council that we work hand in hand with our staff in making sure that we're able to realize the vision that so many residents in our community set forth for our city. So with that, I don't want to be the gap between you all and cake. But I do just want to again reinforce my appreciation to everyone that has supported me. And I look forward to working and serving everyone here in the city of Takoma Park. So thank you. Okay, so as mayor, I think I have the ability to do a do-over. And so now I'm going to read through our proclamations. So the first proclamation is designating Mayor Pro Tem. Appointment of Mayor Pro Tem. Whereas the mayor serves as a member of the city council, sets an agenda, and presides all meetings of the council. And whereas in accordance with the city charter, the mayor has the power to appoint a member of the council as Mayor Pro Tem who shall serve in the mayor's absence. And now, therefore, I, Talisha Searcy, Mayor of the City of Takoma Park, Maryland, do hereby appoint Terry J. Siemens, Council Member Ward 4, as Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. It's an honor.
So our next proclamation, proclaiming November as Municipal Government Works Month. Whereas the City of Takoma Park is one of 157 Maryland municipalities, and whereas municipal government represents the most responsive level of government, allowing residents to have direct access to their elected officials, and whereas municipalities enhance the quality of life for their residents by providing various services tailored to the particular needs and desires of the community, and whereas the City of Takoma Park maintains municipal facilities, streets, sidewalks, parks, natural areas, collects refuge and recycling, clears snow and leaves, manages stormwater facilities, protects tenants through rent stabilization and other laws, provides recreation classes and programs, maintains a full-service municipal library and a full-service police department. And whereas in an effort to educate residents about municipal government and the importance of active and informed participation by residents, the City of Takoma Park is proud to promote municipal government awareness. And whereas the municipalities help to make Maryland a great place to live, work, play, and explore. Now, therefore, I, Talisha Searcy, Mayor of the City of Takoma Park, Maryland, do hereby join the Maryland Municipal League in proclaiming November to be Municipal Government Works Month in the City of Takoma Park. Okay, and so the next agenda item that we have is a voting session where we are going to read off resolutions in support and appreciation of our former council members. And this is a lot of reading, so I'm going to ask my colleagues to help me out with reading the resolution expressing appreciation for Councilmember Kostick. And Councilmember Siemens, I believe you have Councilmember Kovar. Perfect.
Okay, so the resolution reads as follows. Expressing appreciation to Casey Kostiuk for her service as Takoma Park Ward 3 council member. Whereas Casey Kostiuk was elected to the council in 2017 to represent Ward 3, and whereas Councilmember Kostiuk strove throughout her service to highlight the importance of safe streets to improve transportation safety and equity in Takoma Park, and whereas she also advocated for transportation improvements at the local, state, and national level with positive climate impacts, and led efforts regionally to prioritize transit and pedestrian and bike-friendly infrastructure and to reduce carbon emissions to address the climate crisis. And whereas she throughout was a strong proponent of immigrant and refugee rights in our community, working to build a welcoming reception for all, to raise awareness, collaborate with residents on initiatives, and highlight the city's proclamation of World Refugee Day and Welcoming Week. These are long for a reason. There was a lot going on. And whereas she demonstrated her commitment to greater engagement of all of our residents, in many ways, including her work to reform city committees to make them more equitable, diverse, and effective. And whereas Councilmember Kostick developed significant changes to the city tree ordinance and regulations to balance resident safety and tree protection, and to protect and support the city's urban forest canopy. And whereas Councilmember Costick advocated for installation of a four-way stop sign at Carroll and Lincoln intersection to improve pedestrian, bicycle, and vehicle safety. And whereas she emphasized outreach and communication with all Ward 3 residents, and sought to revitalize neighborhood associations. And whereas she approached all city council issues with thoroughness, independent analysis, and close attention to detail, for which we are grateful. And whereas Councilmember Costick ably represented the city to the National Capital Region's Transportation Safety Board, including nearly 3 years as the chair of their Access for All Committee. And she also served as chair of the National League of Cities Human Development Committee for Social Services, Immigrant, and Workforce Issues. And whereas, sadly, she is moving on to pursue other activities. And whereas the service of Councilmember Costick has been of great benefit to the city and the community of Takoma Park. And so now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Takoma Park hereby appreciates and salutes the service of Casey Costick as Ward 3 council member and wishes her well.
The City of Takoma Park resolution expressing appreciation to Peter Kovar for service as Takoma Park Ward 1 council member. Whereas Peter Kovar was first elected to the council in 2017 to represent Ward 1, and whereas Councilmember Kovar pressed for design of a new library and that would best serve the community and advocated to secure funding and construct the library renovation. And whereas Councilmember Kovar pushed to expand council efforts on affordable housing and to develop more comprehensive policies on affordable and missing middle housing. And whereas Councilmember Kovar pushed for declaration of a climate emergency and to set a citywide carbon neutrality goal. And whereas Councilmember Kovar advocated and developed significant changes to the city's tree regulations and policies for the betterment of Takoma Park, including an urban forest policy which embraces broader principles and longer-term goals beyond the permitting process. And whereas Councilmember Kovar proposed a way to ensure the city would have budget flexibility until the extent of the pandemic's fiscal impacts became clear, and championed food security, rental assistance, and direct cash payments for lower-income residents. And whereas Councilmember Kovar worked with North Takoma residents to seek design changes to the Montgomery College Math Science Building and to mitigate neighborhood impacts during construction. And whereas Councilmember Kovar responded forcefully to the harmful FCC ruling on small cell tower antennas through a city small cell ordinance and efforts at other levels of government. And whereas Councilmember Kovar ably represented our city on the Metropolitan Washington Air Quality Committee. And whereas Councilmember Kovar is moving on to pursue more other activities. And whereas the service of Councilmember Kovar has been of great benefit to the city and community of Takoma Park, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Takoma Park hereby appreciates and salutes the service of Peter Kovar as Takoma Park Ward 1 council member and wishes him well.
We also have a resolution recognizing Councilmember Jarrett Smith. He asked that we not read it aloud. I think he was concerned about time. But I do just want to appreciate Councilmember Smith and all that he has done for our city. And he also has a resolution that we will vote on tonight. And then last but not least, I have the pleasure of reading the resolution expressing deep appreciation to Kate Stewart for her service as mayor of Takoma Park and Ward 3 council member. Whereas Kate Stewart was elected to the council in 2014 to represent Ward 3 and elected as mayor in 2015. And whereas Mayor Stewart has demonstrated leadership, innovation, and close collaboration on priority legislative and policy issues for the city throughout her tenure, talents which have had lasting and positive impacts on our community. And whereas Mayor Stewart led the city to address the need for affordable and safe housing to meet the needs of the community and ensure equity, including instituting a housing reserve fund, adopting a housing and economic development strategic plan, creating a down payment assistance program, and promoting a number of individual projects, Leland Avenue, Garland Avenue, Lincoln Avenue, to improve housing quality and affordability for residents. And whereas Mayor Stewart placed a high personal priority on racial equity, leading the city to adopt forward-thinking policies to build racial equity into all city actions and initiatives which gained national attention. And whereas Mayor Stewart drafted a resolution to reimagine policing and public safety in the city, which emphasized the guardian rather than warrior approach to law enforcement, which the city now emphasizes in all aspects of law enforcement. And whereas Mayor Stewart championed the establishment of the Takoma Park Youth Council, now in his 5th term. And whereas Mayor Stewart enthusiastically supported renovation of our city library to ensure that this vital community resource remains available to young people, students, working parents, immigrants, and families. And whereas Mayor Stewart advocated for small businesses and for inaugurating a city economic development manager, a key to our city's small businesses being able to survive the COVID pandemic. And whereas Mayor Stewart advocated for a strong climate program and a fossil fuel-free community and supported the expansion of city tree planting programs, especially in areas with less tree canopy. And whereas Mayor Stewart built connections and ongoing collaboration with area schools through coordinated meetings with school principals on a regular basis. And whereas Mayor Stewart presided over a difficult and challenging time of global and local pandemic, guiding the city's short and long-term COVID response and recovery, and in particular, working closely with Montgomery County to arrange pop-up testing and vaccine clinics for our vulnerable residents. And whereas Mayor Stewart worked diligently to improve the processes of government and community engagement throughout her tenure and prompt the careful attention to each resident who reached out. And whereas Mayor Stewart has achieved these results by modeling close collaboration with the City Council, city staff and leadership, and broader community and others. And whereas Mayor Stewart ably represented our city and priorities and values to others with meaningful results for our community on the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments Board as co-chair of the National League of Cities Race, Equity, and Leadership Project, and on the Mayor's Innovation Project Steering Committee, and by strengthening our working relationships with county and state legislators and officials. And whereas Mayor Stewart is moving on to serve on Montgomery County Council, and whereas the service of Mayor Stewart has been of great benefit to the city and to the community of Takoma Park. Now therefore be it resolved, the Council of the City of Takoma Park hereby deeply appreciates and salutes the service of Kate Stewart as the Mayor of Takoma Park and Ward 3 Council member, and wishes her well. With that, I would like to ask my colleagues to join me in voting for the resolutions, recognizing.
I'm not sure who made the motion to approve the resolutions.
That's right.
I make the motion.
Yes. Do we have a second? Thank you. All those voting in favor of the resolutions, recognizing Peter Kovar, Casey Kostick, Jared Smith, and Kate Stewart, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. And with that, I believe that is the last thing on our agenda, but I would like to remind everyone to join the city manager and staff in saying farewell to Mayor Stewart and outgoing members of the city council and welcoming the new mayor and city council. There will be cake and light refreshments in the atrium lobby immediately after this meeting. So we are now adjourned.